Hi guys, it's Michael from Student Brands, and I'm here with Denise Pillay, the marketing manager for Liberesse, Dr. Similane, who is a gynecologist, and Kerry Hibbert, who is brand strategist at Network BDDO, and we are going to be talking about the Unembarrassed campaign.
Cool.
Thanks, Michael, for having us.
What is the Unembarrassed campaign?
Yeah, what is it about?
Okay, with Liberesse being one of the smaller players in this category, in the feminine category, we had to punch above our weight, and we had to be bold, and we had to decided that being bold meant us having to be able to talk to our consumers in real terms, and to have conversations with our consumers instead of just giving them one-way talk. So we decided that in order to be able to be as real as possible, we had to start with the language and start using the correct language. And that's when we first launched our Vagina Varsity campaign, which Kerry can tell you a little bit more, and then we can talk about our Unembarrassed campaign.
Can you say vagina?
I can. Vagina.
Woo! I love it! Hold on, Michael, you can stay.
Cool. Thank you.
We ask everyone, it's a totally a trick question.
Thank you.
So.
Thursday, because Friday is a public holiday.
Cool, so Vagina Varsity, like Denise said, it was our first campaign. We did it last year, and it was really, really cool. So essentially, have you seen I'm sure your viewers as well have seen all these ads that are so typical of the pad category, which is like super awkward stuff with white pants.
And the women being happy in the shower.
Exactly. And singing when they wake up, and it's like blue liquid, dancing. I mean, it's just, I can't. And anyway, so we were really over it and trying to figure out a way to talk about periods and pads in a real way. Because we figured out that, people, especially women, they weren't talking to us on Facebook, and they weren't talking to us on Twitter, and they weren't talking to us at all, and they weren't really talking to our competitors either. And where were all these women? I mean, half the world bleeds, and half the world has to buy our products, and yet nobody is talking. And we figured out last year that we live in this completely taboo society. That women whisper about periods, and there's all these myths and legends and taboos, and it was time for us to educate women about what's actually happening to their bodies. And so, as this little small player, Liberesse, we decided, hey, we're going to do something different. We're going to cut the TV stuff. We're going to get pop culture on board. We're going to, we love them. I'm sure you guys, and you being on YouTube, they're amazing. Plug. Follow them. We love them.
Wink, wink.
So we used pop culture. We made this amazing platform called Vagina Varsity. You could sign up for free. It was a month of learning where you could watch an episode a day, and you could learn everything from what is a vagina actually called, which is the guy, Doc, from you will tell you it's actually called a vulva. Not a vulva or a vagina, but in any case, all the things from what the inside bits, the outside bits, how to care for your vagina, what to do on periods, how babies are made, contraception, even bedazzling or vajazzling. It's a real thing, Michael.
Need to talk to my
Let's just
fiance about that.
Let's just pause so you can take that in. Waxing, I mean, it's a whole thing, and the whole point was to move from vagina habit to a vagina expert in 4 weeks, and it did phenomenally well. So we were really proud as a brand. I mean, how many did we get in the end? 8,500?
Yeah, from zero base to 8,500. And just an interesting fact. The word taboo actually comes from a Polynesian word, tapua, which means menstruation.
Interesting.
I didn't know that.
That is interesting. So taboo by definition is
period. Tapua, which means menstruation in Polynesian, and I mean, here we are breaking all the taboos. So.
There we go.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's great.
Thank you for that.
We should have used that actually. Hey, next campaign, next 2018.
See the brand strategist already thinking.
Yeah. So that's what we did last year, and that went really, really, really well. And it was quite an experimental campaign, so it was just done over email. And really, the only support we did was we plugged it with some influencers. We had a launch. So we told, obviously, pop culture helped us. We had people, a little bit of digital support, getting people to sign up on vaginavarsity.coza, and literally it was just an email campaign. And then we figured out that we were getting a lot of responses from women going, because we had this thing where you could email us questions at vaginavarsity.coza, and we'd have Dr. Mpumi and also our psychosexual consultant, Avery Spilker, answer questions. And this is where sort of the gloves came off, I suppose, and we realized that women had a lot of questions.
A lot of curiosity.
Yeah.
And
a lot of myths as well.
Yeah, it was just crazy. And like a big thing was that women did not have the language to say what's actually happening. Yeah. What was really happening to them. Yeah. So that really spurred us to having our second sort of stab at this campaign. So perhaps you can talk to that, which is our Unembarrassed campaign, which is really what this is about. And really the tagline for us now is, it is ridiculous when women cannot say what they mean.
Yeah.
And I'm sure your readers are also aware of things like Aunt Flo, Shark Week.
Yeah.
The red Ferraris,
the red robots. I mean, there's like 5,000 or 50,000 or 100,000 metaphors for periods and pads and vaginas, and this actually just gets out of control.
So the Unembarrassed campaign speaks exactly to that. It's about showing, and our TV campaign, our TV ad is actually showing how ridiculous it is to use these kind of euphemisms to say what's actually happening to your body. And with that, we look at trying to unembarrass your period. Yeah. And that's what our whole advert talks to.
Yeah.
And again, we emphasize on using the correct words, using the correct terminology, and just being factual and real.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you've seen any of the ads. I don't know if you've seen any of them, but the one is, which I love, we have the pop culture girls on a disco ball. Yeah. When a woman is on her disco ball every month, which is like disco ball is now being used in place of period, right? Like what CDs and other stuff comes out of her, like speakers, and wearing a saxophone for the whole month can cause, I don't know, it's just insane. And then it can cause odors. That's because the whole thing is about odor control, right? Because it is a problem with periods. It's embarrassing and people don't know how to deal. So that really is the whole campaign. And we're trying to unembarrass your period. Our products obviously take away the embarrassment of odors, which is a big thing with periods, but we also then, on top of that, are trying to take away the embarrassment of having to use all these weird metaphor,
the negative
language
image that everybody holds on.
Yeah, exactly.
Normal bodily function.
Exactly. And I mean, it's fun. I mean, Chandra was at our launch, and I mean, it's a fun campaign where we're asking people to go onto unembarrassed.coza and make their own ad.
Video,
so they can make their own ad and like choose their own metaphor for the word period or vagina. Yeah. So yeah, you can go and make your own ad, and like it is really fun. But again, it's based on this insight that women do not have the language, and Dr. maybe you can speak to that as well.
Yeah, I actually wanted to start off by asking Mike, what is the equivalent of period for a guy?
Oh, right there.
I mean, you said the angle would be like,
I call it menstruation.
Oh, menstruation.
Okay.
Okay, but it's just the emotional side of things, because I promise you guys have that as well. We actually sync if we are in long-term relationships. We also get emotional at odd times of the month, but not for the same reasons, obviously. So, call it menstruation, but obviously that's just making light of what is actually happening.
Right. Actually, if I may just disturb you, there is an actual physical thing, the word dreams.
Really?
Yes.
Does that
So actually, I say to myself, as we were talking, I thought to myself, imagine if guys had to wear pads for their wet dreams. You know, it's a very concealed thing. Nobody ever knows about it. And imagine if the fluid that comes out was actually red, like blood.
Yeah.
It would be like, now the planes are level.
No, we'd have a heart attack. One night, just randomly, I would have a heart attack.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it actually makes you realize just how much anxiety, especially a lot of the young girls, first time it's happening.
No, exactly.
But also it comes back to saying it's just a matter of understanding. It's a natural process.
Yeah.
Puberty is a natural process for both men and women.
Yeah.
So girls will have a period and men will have their first wet dream, which will continue to happen on a regular. You know, when it comes to whether it's parents, mom or dad, whether it's sisters, brothers, particularly the men, it's the sympathy to understand that it doesn't just come with, you know, I'm on my period, but there's a lot of hormonal changes that are happening. So in fact, you know, when you look at the adverts where the woman is happy, and that's the complete opposite of what you feel like and how you feel like. And how can people help, or how can family, particularly how can men help, is be understanding. Don't call us names during that time. Don't call us names, but particularly
or say things like, you only feel this way because you're on your period.
Exactly. You know, that kind of thing. I always encourage, particularly from a gynae perspective, is that it is normal. It is a normal process to make your young girl, your sister, or whoever it is, feel comfortable, and that this is not something to be ashamed of. This is not something to hide. In fact, I encourage men to start looking at what products are there and saying, okay, let's go shopping. You know, fathers, I'm quite pleasantly surprised. A lot of fathers are or starting times to speak about the difficult topics in a normal setting. You know, it's a normal thing, it's biology. If you're uncomfortable, get someone maybe who knows a bit better, and then you get them on board. Because these are the kind of topics or the kind of conversations that will make it easy one day when your daughter, when your sister is saying, Mike, help me, this guy likes me and he wants us to have sex. Then first of all, it will give them the opportunity to come to you because you are comfortable with such topics. But not only that, then you have a door into influencing how they make their decisions as a teenager. It's an extremely horrendous time, but it's seasonal for both girls and for the boys. So it's important whenever we do our campaigns and think about the boys. They have no idea. They are also going through their craze, and just because their period is sort of like hidden and they don't have to tell anybody and they can get away without buying pads or tampons, it doesn't mean they're not going through that psychological change of just not understanding what's going on. So it's important for us to bring that across.
I mean, when we had our sex ed session in primary school, they split the boys and the girls, and we had different ideas taught to us, and I think that should also be looked at in schools, is teaching the boys what's happening to the girls and teaching the girls what's happening to the boys.
You raised such a great point. I mean, if I can speak to both of those points, the whole idea behind Liberesse is this idea of living fearless. Yeah. And what happens when it comes to periods, it's the opposite of that. Yeah. We are so embarrassed and so full of shame, and we're teaching boys and girls that we have to like whisper and not talk about it. And even when we're feeling sick, if we have to go visit a doctor or we are experiencing odors, you know, it's so shh, don't talk about it. And you know, we can't talk about it at all. And so we do these weird behaviors like hide or give metaphors or hide in our bag, and or you know, if you're at school with the sex talk, I remember as well, like if a boy found your pad in your bag, then it was the most embarrassing thing.
You would die.
You would die.
You couldn't even.
The worst thing.
Yeah.
So I think like these kind of campaigns and these kinds of conversations, I think you're so right. Just we have to stop. I mean, the kind of thing that parents can do for their kids is saying, let's stop with this metaphors. This is completely natural. I mean,
So what we've done at Liberesse is that we've started also at the school level, where we go to schools, and it's still only girls. We're trying to get to the part where we start including boys. But at the moment, it's still girls. We educate them on what's going to happen to their bodies, what's going to happen when they do get their period, and we leave a little booklet with them, which is very factual and very easy to read. So it talks about what's going to happen. It talks about my body feels weird. What can I do? I have the moody blues. So
I see it's even got a period tracker in there.
Exactly, and it's like an emergency kit for the first time when they get their period. So we've got this whole booklet and we give it out to them at school so they can actually keep it with them. They have some space to write their stuff, but the information in here is so relevant for them. And what we also do, because I think the first point of call when a girl first gets her period is usually mom. And we've seen that sometimes mom finds it a bit difficult to be able to talk to her daughter or find the right words exactly. So what we've done is we've also developed a booklet, especially for moms, on what is happening to their daughter's body, how she can address things like puberty, how she can address or speak to her daughter when she says, "Mom, I feel like this," or "I feel this way." So this also assists mom. And the next step would be now to start including classes with boys and talk about, total care, so girls and boys and what's happening to their bodies as they enter puberty. So yeah, there's big plans for Liberesse going forward.
Are these only handed out at the schools that you go and visit, or can they see them on the internet? Or
no, at the moment it's we hand them out at the schools.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you guys are onto
it is
something really, really big and stuff. I mean, the other thing I'm just thinking is our society has become so diverse now. You get families where there's two dads and a daughter, you get families where it's two moms and stuff. So we can no longer really look at just the conventional type of family type of thing. You get grannies who live, so, campaigns and companies that make the products, it's quite important to start looking at it from that perspective and saying, how are our communities structured at the moment, and
try to be
you guys are sitting on something amazing.
I just from my side need to say that men need to stop being embarrassed about buying pads. Honestly, pads, tampons, if the teller looks at you funny, just tell them it's for someone you love, because honestly, that is one of the most necessary things that you can do for your girlfriend or your wife or your daughter when she is on her period, is go out and buy her whatever she needs.
And celebrate the process. I always feel like this was a book I read where somebody said, imagine on your first period if your mom and her friends came around, took you out for your first dinner or your first fancy
stuff comes out of her, like speakers, and wearing a saxophone for the whole month can cause, I don't know, it's just insane. And the whole can cause odors. That's because the whole thing is about odor control, right? Because it is a problem with periods. It's embarrassing and people don't know how to deal. So that really is the whole campaign. And we're trying to unembarrass your period. Our products obviously take away the embarrassment of odors, which is a big thing with periods, but we're also then on top of that are trying to take away the embarrassment of having to use all these weird metaphor,
the negative
language
image that everybody holds on.
Yeah, exactly.
Normal bodily function.
Exactly. And I mean it's fun. I mean, Chandra was at our launch, and I mean it's a fun campaign where we're asking people to go onto unembarrassed.coza and make their own ad.
Video,
so they can make their own ad and like choose their own metaphor for the word period or vagina. Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, you can go and make your own ad, and like it is really fun. But again, it's based on this insight that women do not have the language. And Dr. maybe you can speak to that as well.
Yeah. I actually wanted to start off by asking Mike, what is the equivalent of period for a guy?
Oh, right there.
I mean, you said the angle would be like,
I call it menstruation.
Menstruation.
Okay.
Okay, but it's just the emotional side of things, because I promise you guys have that as well. We actually sync if we are in long-term relationships. We also get emotional at odd times of the month. but not for the same reasons, obviously. So, call it menstruation, but obviously that's just making light of what is actually happening.
Right.
But
Actually, if I may just disturb you, there is an actual physical thing, the word dreams.
really,
Yes.
does that count?
So actually, I say to myself, as we were talking, I thought to myself, imagine if guys had to wear pads for their wet dreams. You know, it's a very concealed thing. Nobody ever knows about it. And imagine if the fluid that comes out was actually red, like blood.
Yeah.
It would be like, now the planes are level.
No, we'd have a heart attack. Honestly, if that happened to me one night, just randomly, I would have a heart attack.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it actually makes you realize just how much anxiety, especially a lot of the young girls,
Yeah.
first time it's happening.
No, exactly.
But also it comes back to saying it's just a matter of understanding. It's a natural process.
Yeah.
Puberty is a natural process for both men and women.
Yeah.
So girls will have a period and men will have their first wet dream, which will continue to happen
Yeah.
on a regular. You know, when it comes to whether it's parents, mom or dad, whether it's sisters, brothers, particularly the men, it's the sympathy to understand that it doesn't just come with, you know, I'm on my period, but there's a lot of hormonal changes that are
ups and
happening.
downs.
So
Yeah.
in fact, you know, when you look at the adverts where the woman is happy, and that's
That's a lie.
complete
That's a
opposite
lie.
of what you feel
Yeah.
like and how you feel like.
Yeah.
And how can people help, or how can family, particularly how can men help, is be understanding. Don't call us names during that time.
Yeah.
Don't call us names, but particularly
Or
for
say things like, you only feel this way because you're on your period.
exactly,
Yes, no.
you know, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. I always encourage, particularly from a gynae perspective, is that it is normal. It is
Yeah.
a normal process to make your young girl, your sister, or whoever it is, feel comfortable, and that this is not something to be ashamed of. This is not something to hide. In fact, I encourage men to start looking at what products are there and saying, okay, let's go shopping. You know, fathers, I'm quite pleasantly surprised. A lot of fathers are starting to feel a bit more comfortable. And I always say these are the opportunities or the opportune times to speak about the difficult topics in a normal setting. You know, it's a normal thing, it's biology. If you're uncomfortable, get someone maybe who knows a bit better, and then you get them on board. Because these are the kind of topics or the kind of conversations that will make it easy one day when your daughter, when your sister is saying, Mike, help me, this guy likes me and he wants us to have sex. Then first of all, it will give them the opportunity to come to you because you are comfortable with such topics. But not only that, then you have a door into influencing how they make their decisions as a teenager. It's an extremely horrendous time, but it's seasonal for both girls and for the boys. So it's important whenever we do our campaigns and think about the boys. They have no idea. They are also going through their craze, and just because their period is sort of like hidden and they don't have to tell anybody and they can get away without buying pads or tampons, it doesn't mean they're not going through that psychological change of just not understanding what's going on. So it's important for us to bring that across.
I mean, when we had our sex ed session in primary school, they split the boys and the girls, and we had different ideas taught to us, and I think that should also be looked at in schools, is teaching the boys what's happening to the girls and teaching the girls what's happening to the boys.
You raised such a great point. I mean, if I can speak to both of those points, the whole idea behind the brace is this idea of living fearless. Yeah. And what happens when it comes to periods, it's the opposite of that. Yeah. We are so embarrassed and so full of shame, and we're teaching boys and girls that we have to like whisper and not talk about it. And even when we're feeling sick, if we have to go visit a doctor or we are experiencing odors, you know, it's so shh, don't talk about it. And you know, we can't talk about it at all, and so we do these weird behaviors like hide or give metaphors or hide it in our bag, and or you know, if you're at school with the sex talk, I remember as well, like if a boy finds your pad in your bag, then it's the most embarrassing.
You would die.
You would die.
You couldn't even.
The worst thing.
Yeah.
So I think like these kind of campaigns and these kinds of conversations, I think you're so right. Just we have to stop. I mean, the kind of thing that parents can do for their kids is saying, let's stop with this metaphors. This is completely natural. I mean,
So what we've done at Liberesse is that we've started also at school level, where we go to schools, and it's still only girls. We're trying to get to the part where we start including boys. But at the moment, it's still girls. We educate them on what's going to happen to their bodies, what's going to happen when they do get their period, and we leave a little booklet with them, which is very factual and very easy to read. So it talks about what's going to happen. It talks about my body feels weird. What can I do? I have the moody blues. So
I see you got a period tracker in there.
Exactly, and it's like an emergency kit for the first time when they get their period. So we've got this whole booklet, and we give it out to them at school so they can actually keep it with them. They have some space to write their stuff, but the information in here is so relevant for them. And what we also do, because I think the first point of call when a girl first gets her period is usually mom. And we've seen that sometimes mom finds it a bit difficult to be able to talk to her daughter or find the right words exactly. So what we've done is we've also developed a booklet, especially for moms, on what is happening to their daughter's body, how she can address things like puberty, how she can address or speak to her daughter when she says, "Mom, I feel like this," or "I feel this way." So this also assists mom. And the next step would be now to start including classes with boys and talk about, total care, so girls and boys and what's happening to their bodies as they enter puberty. So there's big plans for Liberesse going forward.
Are these only handed out at the schools that you go and visit, or can they see them on the internet? Or
no, at the moment it's we hand them out at the schools.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you guys are onto something really,
Mm-hmm.
really big and stuff. I mean, the other thing I'm just thinking is our society has become so diverse now. You get families where there's two dads and a daughter, you get families where it's two moms and stuff. So we can no longer really look at just the conventional type of family type of thing. You get grannies who live, so campaigns and companies that make the products, it's quite important to start looking at it from that perspective and saying, how are our communities structured at the moment, and
try to be
you guys are sitting on something amazing.
I just from my side need to say that men need to stop being embarrassed about buying pads. Honestly, pad tampons, if the teller looks at you funny, just tell them it's for someone you love. Because honestly, that is one of the most necessary things that you can do for your girlfriend or your wife or your daughter when she is on her period, is go out and buy her whatever she needs.
Celebrate the process. I always feel like this was a book I read where somebody said, imagine on your first period if your mom and her friends came around, took you out for your first dinner or your first fancy nail polishing thing, so that we start breaking this culture off, because it starts from a very how does everybody else see it? That's how the girls will react. And we actually celebrate it. It's like somebody's coming of age. You're no longer a child, you're now a girl, and it would do wonders. I believe. It'll bring back a lot of self-confidence. I mean, on a more serious note, if you go as far as things like women abuse, violence against women and things like that, and even just exploitation in relationships. And it's not to say it's only women; it happens with men, but you would be amazed how much confidence you start infusing into somebody, so that they actually make proper decisions for themselves. In difficult times, relationships, and they can say, no, this is a frog, this is a toad, this is not a prince, kind of thing. And fathers and men, you have no idea how much influence you have. I mean, not once do I ever get, for example, a patient comes through and the first thing goes, I'll speak to my boyfriend, I'll speak to my husband, I'll discuss with my partner first. You guys carry an immense amount of power because of your role in the family. So use it. Protect us, protect our girls.
Yeah. So, if we were to ask you what are the fundamentals that men should know about periods and actually supporting the woman in their life when it comes to having their periods, what would be your advice?
The fundamentals would be in 3 stages. One, from just a normal physiological perspective, and the easiest way is we relate better with things that we understand.
Yeah.
So I would say for a guy, imagine whenever you have a wet dream, that's exactly what's happening to the girl. And just the fact that in that space, it's not just about the period, there are other things that come with it. Then you start learning a few things about the mood symptoms that she may have. She's not going to be the jolliest of people. Not all women will go through PMS, premenstrual syndrome, but some will. And particularly the younger they are, then they don't understand what's really happening. It's happening for the first time. The second thing is then from a perspective of how do you protect them? Because there's a lot of literature and a lot of things that have spoken about the bullying that happens because boys don't understand what's happening. So they made a joke out of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it makes the school experience for the girls completely horrible.
Yeah,
Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
To a point where they actually miss those at least a week of school.
Exactly.
And I mean, that's terrible. Missing a third or quarter of your month at school because of what's happening and the guys don't understand.
Yeah. And then the last thing is talk. Talk to your, whoever it is, your daughter, your girlfriend, whatever. What can I do to help? Because we're all different. Somebody will say, I just need my quiet time. Somebody will say, I need pads. Somebody will say, I need ice cream. Whatever it is, be supportive. And I always encourage us to read. Yes, we need to read. It's not complicated. It's not complicated biology, whatever. Let's read. And you would be like, actually, I'm empowered. In fact, I would even say I dare the vagina varsity people to take it upon and say, well, let the guys sign up.
Yes,
Do it.
The men.
We don't ask if you're a man or a female to go onto the website.
Yeah.
It's still open.
It's open to everyone.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Just
So
sign
that-
up. Vaginavice.co.za.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guys, that's a challenge. Go sign up and learn.
And actually, you know what? If it's any incentive, trust me, it will prepare you for great things.
Yes.
Going forward. Because if you understand how the woman's body functions, you've set yourself up for a great time in the future and just a fulfilling relationship. Because I mean, we do also things like sex therapy and things like that. And you'd be surprised how many adults, male and female, don't quite understand where to touch, where not to touch.
Do with what,
And but I touched this yesterday and it was amazing, but today she's like, don't do that. So those are the kind of things where it's guys, it's who we are, it's our biology, and we can't change that. So let's learn about it, deal with it, and enjoy it.
Yes, no, that's perfect. Okay, any closing statements from you guys?
No, I'm just so grateful that you invited us to come onto your channel. I think it was really fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And just from my side is that if everybody can go up and sign up at vaginavice.co.za and go through our course and give us some feedback, that would be great.
Yeah, definitely. And make your own videos because they're super fun.
Yes.
Cool. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. It was once again Denise Play, the marketing manager from Liberesse, Dr. Similane, who is our gynecologist, and then Kerry Hibbert from Network BDO. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.